Hi there, happy Sunday. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. This is Mean40. I'm Anita, and I created this live stream because it's quite simple. I wanted to watch Korean dramas and put on Korean skincare, and then also have a cup of tea. So if you are in the live stream, feel free to jump in at any point because we will be talking about so many different things. Today, I wanted to talk about the skincare that I keep in the office or the cottage. So most people have two sets of skincare regimes depending on how far away the cottage or office is. When I'm doing my skincare in the office, it's usually after going to the gym. And I like to keep products that are not only really good quality, but also ones that can do more than one thing. So today I am at somewhat of an office. It's my husband's clinic, and I'll show you the products that I have here as we drink. Right now, I'm drinking my English breakfast tea with a little bit of almond milk and monk fruit sugar, and I'm also watching Business Proposal on my phone. So a lot of my friends are really into this Korean drama. I started watching it, just leaving it on as background. But then when a lot of the chats in my various signal groups started talking about how good it was, I started tuning in a little bit more closely. So I'm on episode 4 right now, and I really love the cast of this drama. So first, I'll start off with a toner. So this one is, and I'll talk about the drama as I put on my skincare. This one is a multitasker because it contains ingredients that make it a chemical exfoliator. So it will kind of revitalize and take off the dead layers of the skin very gently. Then at the same time providing moisture because it has papaya extract and niacinamide to brighten. So a number of really good ingredients that make a toner very essential. So this is a watery one. I just apply it onto my palms and then put it onto my face and then my neck. I'm wearing a turtleneck, so it's kind of hard to do, but we'll manage. So then I do this twice. So I do 2 layers. My office tends to be really dry because there's a lot of air circulating through the heater. Same thing when I go to a cottage, it tends to be a lot colder, and so my skin dries out pretty fast. So I brought a number of different hydrating ingredients. The second one is a snail essence. This one's from CosRx and it has a really high concentration. You can see I have a little bit of blemishes going on. It's the time of the month, and then that results in acne in the face. So with the snail mucin, I find that it's a multitasker because it deals with acne very well, as well it provides the hydration and moisture that I need. So even if the days that I don't have acne issues, I could use this as an essence and serum and it works really well. So it looks a bit sticky, but when you apply it onto the skin, it's not. It goes on just really smoothly and it absorbs so well. You don't need much at all. So there's the second layer. Some people, when they take products to the cottage or the office, they think, oh, I'll just take things that I don't really like and I don't really use at home. And I encourage you to change that mindset because when you are applying skincare, it's probably not your primary place of applying skincare. And so you want really good stuff because you don't want to be dealing with mess or not being happy with the way that your face looks that day or feels. And so when I keep a secondary set of skincare products, I try to do ones that I really like. And you don't need to do much with them. It's just very easy to apply. So no mess, as well as very highly effective products. So not the ones that I kind of get sick of, and especially old products. I tend not to store those ones in the office just because I don't want to be changing them up that frequently. So I start with really fresh products, ones that I like, and ones that do more than just one thing. So I'm watching this episode here when they go to the farm. And I don't know, for some reason I thought that this was really humorous. I generally don't like webtoon-based Korean dramas just because I can't deal with a lot of silliness. I don't know how some of you feel, but with the business proposal, I think they did it really well. They mixed in the humor with a little bit of maturity. Um, I started watching Korean dramas at a very young age, and so when I think about the president of the company, he makes me laugh a lot. And in episode 4, there was a scene where he was waiting for the bathroom and then he fell in to a bucket of marinating napa for kimchi. And I don't know why, but generally it takes a lot to make me laugh. My husband does it really well. But in this episode, I found it to be really, really light, um, and just very, very comedic. So I'm used to seeing the grandfather in a lot of serious roles, and he's a veteran actor that everyone takes seriously. He's known and respected. He's done so many different pieces, and so seeing him in this comedic role just really was refreshing, and I enjoyed watching this episode a lot. So I hear someone in the chat. Thank you, Satori Sunsets. I really love the fact that you are asking about moles on the face. Um, I don't really think too much about moles on the face. I think that everything that we are given is a gift and we can work with. So I do have moles on my face, like you can see this one here. And Korean tradition is that moles, they signify a person's characteristic or a life journey. And I contemplated removing this mole. Um, this is actually not a mole, it's a bruise because I'm doing facial rejuvenation acupuncture, and I'll talk more about that on another Sunday. But moles around the mouth area, they signify prosperity, and it's a sign that you won't go hungry. And so I was actually advised by a lot of Korean family members, relatives who are really into sort of reading people's faces. And I was advised not to remove this. So I've had this since I was a little kid, and it's actually darkened with time. So I'm pretty convinced to leave it as is. But I know a lot of people, they have various moles in different places. And I think that that's okay. You always have the gift of a really good concealer, and this is one that I keep in the office. So I'll talk about this. And so if something is really bothersome, then you can deal with it that way. My mom, she had a mole on her face that she had surgically removed just because there were worries about it being potentially harmful. And so we engaged a medical professional for that. The doctor advised that it would be wise to remove it, and so she did. So if you are Satori Sunsets, if you're interested, or if you're contemplating having something removed, I think a doctor would be the best person to ask. I'm not a medical expert, nor am I a skincare expert. I'm not a dermatologist, but I'm just so enthusiastic about Korean skincare. And there are various makeup tools that we could use to address that. But then at the same time, I think kind of appreciating what we are given and understanding the significance, like the one I have here, really weighs into that decision. And it's something that I don't take lightly. So hopefully that gives you something to consider. I also do love this show. I think Business Proposal is one of the better ones this year, and I think the characters, they have such natural chemistry that it's really keeping me tuned in. Oh, thanks, Satori Sunsets. Like I'd love to hear more about what you're thinking. So, maybe you can reach out to me, DM me on Instagram, and then we can continue the conversation about certain treatments or moles. And I'm always happy to talk to you more about this because I went through that journey myself. Like I was really bothered by this one. I have another one on my shoulder, and that one's pretty big. Like it's about that size. Um, but then I found out my dad has the exact same one in the exact same place. So that was something else that I considered too. Like maybe it's something that's handed down. Okay, great. So now I wanted to kind of just add a little bit more moisture onto my face. This is a mist, but before that, here is an eye cream. I've been getting some questions about eye creams whether or not I think it's a necessity. And my answer is no, I don't. I think it's a definite add on for people who are concerned about under eye skincare. This is a really good one that I use on my entire face. And so that's why I keep this one at the office, is because I can apply it under the eye, but then at the same time, I can apply it like here where there's more lines and creases. So I just use the tool for sanitary reasons. And this is something that came with the eye cream. And I just really enjoy the cooling effect. So I kind of just roll it in with this tool. But of course, if I'm short on time, fingers are the best makeup tool. So then I just use my ring finger to pat it in here and here. And if I wasn't wearing the turtleneck, I'd apply this all over my neck. I really appreciated the ingredients that are in this eye cream, and you can see it on the box. But in short, it contains marine water, which is supposed to be very hydrating and revitalizing. And it also contains kelp. So Korean diet is, a lot of it has to do with what's good for the body, but also I learn about the skin benefits. And kelp and seaweed are known to be natural detox ingredients. So if you are concerned about dark circles under the eyes, I think something with marine extracts will really help you in the long run, even in the short run. Like I noticed some really good effects from using this one, and it's only been a week or so, but already the skin under my eyes feels a lot more refreshed, and I like the light texture. Usually eye creams are a bit heavier and rich, but this one just absorbs really well. Okay, so then I mentioned a concealer, and I don't usually do this because a lot of the times I use concealer, I can actually see the lines a bit more on my face, especially here and here. But because of the bruising, I wanted to just apply a little bit of concealer to certain areas. And then I just pat it in with my fingers. So you're probably asking, are you done with the skincare? No, I'm not. The most important step, which is the sunscreen step, is still pending. And the reason why I put the concealer on is because I want it to look really natural. I don't want it to kind of just sit on the surface. So I start with a very thin layer and then I apply sunscreen. For the office, I mentioned multi-purpose. I like to keep sunscreens, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a certain brand, but whatever you like and whatever looks really natural would be the best. So this is one that has serum contained in it. So it's not a cakey foundation, but at the same time, it has an SPF 25 and PA of 2 pluses. So it helps protect the UVA and the UVB. An alternative that I also keep in my purse is a Huxley cushion. And this is another multitasker because it not only covers, but it also provides the sun protection. So by having these kind of multitaskers in your office or at the cottage, it helps you to become a lot more efficient because you don't need to layer on different things. When I'm at home, of course, I would do the 2 layers of sunscreen and then I would apply makeup afterwards. But now I'll just jump right into it. So I just take a little bit and apply it directly onto my face. And then I could use either a tool or a puff to just blend it in. I love the whole like Cinderella scene where he takes her shopping, and I think it could have looked a bit superficial or pompous, but he did it in a way that was quite lovable. I also appreciate the fact that the main male lead, An Hyo-seo, he is a Torontonian. So he actually grew up in Toronto, in Canada, and then he moved back to Korea. So that was another reason why I became interested in this drama, is because of the cast. A lot of them I haven't seen before, but they do such a great job. Like the natural chemistry is just really pleasant to watch. Okay. So now that I've applied on the serum foundation, you'll see it's very, very light. I know it was so charming. Like he wasn't just throwing away money at her. It was more like he was actually contemplating what outfits suited her and her personality. And I also love the raw realness of how she was saying, "Oh, this is like so tight." That white, beautiful suit that she was wearing. I loved it, but she was saying, "Oh, I don't think I can eat in this." And I just found that all of that to be really endearing. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I think we all have beautiful skin. It's just a matter of finding the right products to complement. And I've had years of trial and error. So some skincare products that people loved and raved about, I find didn't suit my skin. So it's all about trying and getting to know what works best. So on my skin, I found that I need a more of a watery foundation. Some people don't like that dewy look. But because I have dry skin to begin with, even though I apply something that has the glow and the sort of the watery type of foundations, they suited me and they don't look like my face would look oily or greasy in any way. Um, so after that, I don't do much makeup, especially if I am in a rush or at work, but I definitely do eyebrows. So this is a trick that I also learned from a Korean friend, and she recommended eyeshadow as opposed to an eye pencil or even one of these, which is like an eyebrow gel. This one is a really good one. It's from Vanilla Co. But because gel gets really kind of hardened and it becomes like a sanitary issue, like you wonder when can I how long can I use this for? It's kind of tricky to keep in storage, especially in a place where you're not frequently using it. Like in the office, maybe once in a while. So I like to do um, a shadow for sanitary and storage longevity, but it also does look a lot more natural. Like I was pretty surprised when you are brushing it onto the brows, rather than doing like a harsh stroke with a pencil, like the shadow just seems a lot more softer. See? And you finding the right color is part of the key. Yeah, I'm really surprised at how many people use a shadow, um, not just for their lids, but for their eyebrows. And so I just do kind of like a sweet sweep, just very, very gentle strokes. And it's so quick too. It's almost good for beginners because you can't really make a mistake. So, the convenience, um, I I don't know about the lasting power. I do think like the pencil does last a lot longer, especially if you're pulling clothes on over top of your head, like if you're changing for the gym or if you have a scarf that kind of like has to go across your face first. Yeah, thanks. See, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not into, long, lengthy makeup routines. I just want to kind of look good on Zoom calls when I'm working or just, running out to do errands, just really quick. And especially if you're, you know, away somewhere and you don't want to go through the full routine, this is very, very easy just using a shadow. Hi, John C. Jose. Nice to see you. It's great to be together with all of you. Um, and then a good kind of lip conditioner. So this one's a Korean brand and it's so easy. It's like a chapstick, but it's tinted. I almost think it's a dupe for the Christian Dior lip glow, but of course, much more lower on the price point. It conditions and it's like very natural, but it has the effect of just brightening up the skin tone as well. I don't know how it does it, but this one's called the tomato jelly tint lip. And I always put this one in my purse. I just wish it had SPF. It doesn't. But if it did, this would be like the ultimate lip product. I wouldn't need to use anything else. So that's very quick. And then of course I would finish off with a mist just to lock everything in and provide that extra barrier. So this one, this if you can see, the the efficacy of how it spreads is what I look for in a mist. Because the contents, I can just open it up and change it according to what I like. But if the spray is not a good one, I've often had ones that just do a very thin stream, and that doesn't work for me because I like to have the full, like just all over the face, very, very thin. And that way you don't look like you just came out of the shower, but it's just a very light mist. So this is a really good one. And I've tested so many. I've tested so many over the years, like just to make sure that it provides that light mist instead of a stream. I know I'm so happy to see people from different countries logging in, and there's a time difference. So right now in Canada, it's lunch hour, and in India, I'm thinking that you guys are it's probably nighttime because it's more than 12-hour difference. So it's really great. Yes, a mist is so key, and because you can just apply it at any point in the day, I think it's a really good one to keep in the office or at the cottage. You can just do it on your own leisure. So, you know, that's pretty much it. I'm continuing to watch this drama. I love it because I just think that the storyline has developed so well, and now it's on episode 8, where both characters have confessed their feelings for each other, and it's just really, really refreshing because I'm used to the time that it takes to realize your feelings and then talk about it and focus group it with all your friends. But here it's just they go directly to that individual. I know it's just so entertaining. But then at the same time, like I love watching like the interactions between the different characters. A lot of people have really been hating on Chef Lee, but I also think that he adds to the story. It's a very different dimension. And for people who had long term friends that you've grown up with over the years, I think is really relatable. So I'm going to continue to watch this drama with great interest. I'm getting sad that it's almost close to the end because we're more than halfway there. And the characters have evolved so much that it's been such a pleasure to watch. I have my predictions. I think that there's going to be a little bit more bumps along the road, as there usually is. But I'm going to still continue to root for both couples. I think it's really, I feel equally invested in the second storyline with the assistant and her best friend, Yezo, that I'm rooting for them. Sometimes I enjoy their scenes a little bit more. I look forward to seeing them develop a little bit more than the main characters. And I think I've been hearing a lot of my friends in my K drama chat group, they really enjoy both as well. So I get a lot of inspiration from that group because they just go through dramas so quickly, and I'm not sure how they do it because they have to read the subtitles. Like I can just hear the audio and leave it on in the background, but these friends, because Korean is not their native language or even their second language, they have to actually read every single dialogue, and they do it, and they're watching like 4 or 5 different dramas on the go. Yeah. I really appreciate the pace of this drama. I think it's one of the reasons why it's become so popular because it's so refreshing and it's different. Like some of the other dramas that I watch, they do a lot of flashbacks, and there is value to it, but if it becomes so repetitive, I find that the story does drag along. So, that's something that I always talk about with my husband. My husband doesn't watch these dramas with me. He likes more of the action dramas, so he was really into what there's a zombie one that we're watching. All of Us Are Dead Now, and he's become really invested in that. So we'll talk about that on a different Sunday because we actually just started that. But I think this one is one that it actually makes me look forward to Mondays, which is so different. I find that it gives me something to look forward to. Oh yeah, I mentioned at the beginning of this live that I'm not really into webtoons. I thought that they would be really silly, but I am really interested. It is really good. All of Us Are Dead. I recommend that one if you want a change of genre. Like it's not there is a little bit of a romance, but that's not the primary storyline. It's it's more of the tale of the virus and how it's spreading. So it's become very, very interesting. And I wondered, like, how can you do a series based on a zombie outbreak? But they managed to do it, and it's done really well so far. Oh yeah, 2521. That's another one that I intend to talk about. I just started it. I'm on episode one. So as I progress a bit more into that, I can't wait to talk about that. It's looking very promising. And I heard that it only gets better. Like episode one is just a tip of the whole story. So I'm really excited about that one too. Yeah. So I'm almost finished my tea. I love just a traditional English breakfast tea. And I find that I don't miss coffee after drinking it. That and Earl Grey. Um, and let me think about in the future. I also want to do like what's in my pouch. I have so many different discussion topics that we can talk about as we go through these Korean dramas, and there's definitely no shortage of Korean dramas. So I hope that you'll all join me again in the next Sunday episode and have a great Sunday or Sunday night. And I will talk more about business proposal tomorrow. There's a new episode, so let's look forward to that. Take care, everyone. I loved seeing you here. See you again.